Hello, welcome back to the EDventure podcast series. I am Eddie. If you recall, in our last episode, we opened the doors to our virtual laboratory, put on our VR headsets, and dived into the electrodialysis system, right into the heart of the machine. We talked about the safe failure zone, spatial memory, and the luxury of making mistakes for students. And as we wrapped up that episode, we made you a promise. We said that in our next episode, we would discuss how this educational model is going to transform the industry and the professions of the future. Today, we are keeping that promise. If you are ready, let's take off that virtual reality headset for a moment and look at the real world outside, at the industry itself. Because the small spark we created in the virtual lab is creating a massive wave of transformation in real factories. There is an incredible green transition wind blowing across Europe and the entire world right now. This is not just a vision on paper. We are talking about billions of euros in physical investments. Think of the massive facilities recycling those critical raw materials inside lithium batteries, or the centers transforming industrial wastewater back into reusable pure water and valuable chemicals. Electrodialysis and membrane technologies are playing the leading role in all these critical goals. However, building these massive facilities and purchasing that state-of-the-art hardware is only the equipment side of the equation. The hardest part is finding the human resources to operate that facility flawlessly. This is exactly where the professions of the future are taking shape, right inside this bottleneck. The chemical or environmental engineer of the future will not just be someone who puts the formulas they learned in class onto paper. The expert of the future will be a versatile operator who understands digital twins, who has practiced with 3D simulations, and who can fluently speak both the physical structure and the digital language of the machine. As EDventure, we are training this new generation of digitally native engineers. In educational sciences, there is the famous cone of learning by Edgar Dale. Scientific data tells us this: people remember 10% of what they read and 20% of what they hear. But when it comes to actual experience, to simulating the task, this rate jumps up to 90%. Unfortunately, the traditional education system was stuck on those first two steps due to budget and safety constraints. With our VR module, we are taking students to that 90% peak, the peak of learning by doing. Moreover, while doing this, we are building a very powerful winning triangle. In the first corner, we have the students. They gain a risk-free and unlimited practice space. In the second corner, we have the universities. They can scale their laboratory capacities limitlessly without spending millions of dollars or building massive physical spaces, completely hardware-free. And in the third corner, undoubtedly the biggest winner, is the industry. Their desperate need for ready-to-deploy experts who have operated the machine hundreds of times in a virtual environment is finally met. Here, I also want to debunk a very critical myth. When we say virtual reality or VR, some executives or academics in the industry still only think of games, the entertainment sector, or simple visual shows. But the system we have built with Adventure is not a game. This module is a serious engineering simulator based entirely on the laws of thermodynamics, fluid dynamics, and actual chemical reactions. So, when you turn a valve the wrong way in the virtual world, the pressure warning you see on the screen has the exact same mathematics as the physics inside that pipe in real life. Ours is not fiction. It is a digital reflection of reality. In short, EDventure is not just an innovative educational project. It is a strategic bridge, building the key human resources, the most valuable infrastructure, needed for Europe to reach its sustainability goals. Today, we talked about how these young people, trained in digital laboratories, will make the production habits of the world green and sustainable tomorrow. In our next episode, we will discuss how this digital bridge crosses borders and geographies, and how it unites students in different countries under a common vision. Until then, keep experiencing instead of just reading, keep debunking myths, and keep building facts. That is all from EDventure Talks for today. See you next time.